And so my understanding is that, so for Code Next, the big rewrite, this is like a 1,000-page document, right? Like very comprehensive. And since that got shut down twice, now it's more of a piecemeal approach that council is taking. Is that the right way? I mean, how long is that going to take? Say, we haven't even got to home yet, but the home initiative is a piece of it, right? Is that 1 page? Is that 2 pages out of the 1,000? And if so, is this going to take us, another 500 years? Like, I know the piecemeal approach is perhaps more palatable and easier to get through not only council, the courts, but also through the public. But we're in a crisis, as you said, like a housing affordability crisis. And so is the piece-by-piece approach going to work?
First off, unfortunately, it ever got that name of Code Next, right? What we should have named the rewrite of our 1984 Land Development Code is just that, the rewrite of our 1984 Land Development Code. So when the city gave it the cute name of Code Next, it wasn't defended. So folks were out there just really throwing misinformation at it, like, this is going to do this. It's not only going to destroy the value of your home, but it's also going to make your taxes go through the roof. Now, notice those things are kind of contradictory, right?
Yeah.
And so it was really just, there was so much misinformation thrown out there, and the city tried a little bit to protect that, and actually this is what it does. But it wasn't as though, your podcast, for instance, if somebody said, well, it just makes coffee go cold fast, like what? You'd be like, what? That's ridiculous, right? So we defend, and if we have our company, if we have a brand, we defend it, and that was never defended. And so the name never should have happened, but the results and what it was supposed to do were desperately needed. And it was going to balance a whole lot of things. Our environmental standards are outdated as well. And so we were going to look to have better environmental controls for the developments as they occurred, to have better green roofs and energy efficiency and water efficiency and all those types of things. But they were going to be balanced with those entitlements to make it to where, by right, you as a landowner can now more easily redevelop your land in a way that achieves all these goals of Imagine Austin. And so the balanced approach was going to be the best approach. And now that we're doing it piecemeal, I mean, it's really exhausting. It's exhausting for community members. It's exhausting for staff, for city council, for anybody who volunteers on any board or commission. I mean, it's just that we're not even beginning to get through the number of zoning cases. If everything has to be a one-off, it's just so inefficient. And so if you want a code that achieves X, Y, and Z, then you just have to create that code that achieves those things.
Right.
Current code does not do that. And to make everyone jump through 1,000 hoops and pay millions of dollars for a discretionary zoning that they may or may not get years down the road, a lot of folks just don't bother. And so hence they go 25, 30 miles out. And that's why we see so many rooftops going up.
Yeah.
Auto-centric development outside of Austin, where not building the homes that people need here. And so what happens is, let's say a lot of people like to blame the high income earner, right? So they come to town and they bought that home and they displaced somebody. What if we built the housing that everyone wants and didn't require displacement? I mean, the single best way to guarantee displacement in a growing community is to limit your new housing supply, which is something an outdated land development code does very well.